So right now the test that I'm doing is I'm actually separating out the extra potato slices from the wiggler culture. As you can see, I have some new potato slices in here, and these I just cut up, I don't know, maybe 15-20 minutes ago. They're starting to form a bit of a layer, but other than that, they are pretty fresh. The wigglers actually use this as water. They will, actually really hilarious. Let me see if I can grab one of these little buddies. So they take their little head, right there. See his little face? And he's not thirsty right now, so he probably won't do it. But what they do is, since their little jaws are actually too small to bite a human, they pretty much just ram their little head into the potato slice, and then that way they can go ahead and eat it and get their moisture that way. And this is actually what the potato slices will look like when they are done drinking them up. Believe it or not, these little black pieces of potato, this one's actually fresher. This one was probably one of the ones that I put in late last night. But this one here, I put in just like yesterday morning. And this one as well is probably one that I put in yesterday morning. And they really they have voracious appetites. I put in several potato slices yesterday. Now, granted, there are a lot of worms in here. There are about 400 to 450 worms in here currently. There's probably one from late last night as well. It does look gross. It really doesn't smell that bad. Honestly, it mostly smells like moist oatmeal, which kind of has that, that kind of like warm baking fragrance. Honestly, it's not as bad as you would think. So I'm separating out those real quick, so that way they can have the fresh potatoes, and I can go ahead and get the old potatoes out of here. That way they don't start smelling weird. I don't mind when things smell like natural, kind of like the moist oatmeal smell. I don't mind that. I do mind when things start smelling gross, though. Look at this. Look at this, so wiggly. Look at these wonderful little men. This smaller brown stuff here is wheat bran. They will pretty much eat any fine cereal grain. So obviously we have the oatmeal, and that's just like extra instant oatmeal that I just like pulled out of the oatmeal that I make for myself in the morning. Uncooked, of course. And then the wheat bran, actually several of the cultures that I got, the much smaller ones that had like 120 of them in each culture, already came with wheat bran, and that's why I have some wheat bran in there. I didn't think it was worth taking it out. They'll eat it just fine. They live in the cereal, and they also will eat the cereal. So kind of like how you have those ant cultures that have like blue gel, where the ants will, look at this one. It's just like a slice, like it's just like a straight old like piece of paper potato. Anyway, just like those weird blue gel habitats that they have for ants, where they both live in it and eat the gel. It's very similar to that. They live and eat the oatmeal. And of course they get their moisture from the potatoes. Come on, camera, you can do it. Mealworms are another one of those things. I don't really need to keep them. They are actually pretty cheap to buy. It only costs $1 for 40 mealworms. Each of my leopard geckos only eats about 10 mealworms per meal. So It's not that it's too expensive for me to buy mealworms to provide for my leopard geckos, but I do really enjoy watching the mealworms. There's just something satisfying about it, so therefore I go ahead and keep my own culture. And as you can see, they can't climb, so even just the shallow Tupperware dish like this will be perfectly fine. And like I said, they are too small to bite. They turn into beetles later on. They'll turn into what's called darkling beetles. Once I get some darkling beetles, I'll go ahead and take those out because darkling beetles will actually eat the mealworms. So I'll go ahead and separate out the darkling beetles into their own culture, and the darkling beetles will lay more eggs to make more mealworms, which is super awesome. Also conveniently, leopard geckos will still eat the darkling beetles, so even when I get tired of having darkling beetles around, or if I just decide I don't want to keep these anymore, I can go ahead and feed the parent darkling beetles to the leopard geckos, and they'll go ahead and have some nice homegrown cereal, basically. You just love these guys, look at them. They're so wiggly. They're so wiggly.